Well, good evening, YouTube. I'm trying to think what day it is. June. Oh gosh. June something. I'll tell you tomorrow in the morning, and you'll find out why in a couple minutes. But here for another video, I guess. I did a lot of work on the tractor, I guess. Well, I did a lot of work. And the reason I didn't get new videos posted a little bit sooner is because, well, my phone broke pretty much the day after I made the last video. And sorry if you're hearing some noise in the background, because some guys are doing some re-roofing across the street. I don't know if you can see all that over there on that house. It's next to the car, kind of hard to see. Sorry. But yeah, we're getting closer, I guess you could say. I know I got my phone back today from being fixed, so it shouldn't be causing me any problems here for a while, hopefully. And I've done quite a bit to the tractor from when you last saw it, so yeah, it's been a long haul getting it this far, but I pretty much I kept piecing it together, continuing where I left off from the last video. Oh gosh, I'm trying to even remember what all I did, but let's see. I put the second half of the valve train on. I timed up the magneto, and I put the new tag on the magneto. Let me think. I put the oil pan back on. I got that cleaned out and put back on. I got the manifold back on, and pretty much, oh, I got the governor linkage back on as well to the carburetor. I got that back on. The only thing I really don't have on there yet is the cover to the oil, where you put in your oil, I guess you could say. That and the side panels to show the side view of the engine. So that's pretty much all I have left to put on the engine portion. Besides adjusting the valves, that's pretty much it. Let's see, I have all the radiator pieces pretty much ready to go and be assembled. I just need to get a lot of nuts and bolts for that, and I'll be getting that tomorrow. I already have the gaskets for that, and I'm trying to think here. Those took a little while to get done, because I know hold on. The reason those radiator pieces took so long to get finished was because there were a whole bunch of broken bolts in them, and I had to drill and tap every single one of them. And I'd probably say there were about, I want to say at least 10. And the side panels and the tanks themselves. So it was kind of really a process to get all that stuff out. But I finished that up today. And radiator is ready to go in. The radiator is, well, in my point of view, repaired the best I can do. JB welded on both sides, so I'm hoping that'll be enough. And if it's not, then, well, my choices are to either go out and Stromp's up in Spalding and try and find another radiator that'll work, or order a new one off of riceequipment.com, which is $200-300, something like that. So rather not go that route. And okay, what was I thinking? I still need to get an overflow tube for the radiator. I still need to get fuel lines for the radiator. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I got the gas tank on the tractor, and I ran into a little problem actually, because well, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I got a tank off of an old F-20 out at the tractor yard because it was one of the best that I'd seen inside and out. There wasn't a spot of rust in it, and in all the other Farmall regular tanks I'd seen, there was a big substantial amount of rust in them. And I thought, well, if it's an F-20 tank, I might as well just take it, because well, at that time I thought that an F-20 tank was the same size as a regular tank, but no, that did not flow at all. Turns out the Farmall F-20 tank is bigger than the Farmall regular tank height-wise, so it's higher up in the frame than an original Farmall regular tank would be, which is a problem because it's rubbing up against my steering shaft. And I took the shaft out of the front steering mechanism actually to replace a gear in there that had been pretty badly worn down. I'll show you here in a couple minutes. But it's really kind of bothering me because I was just sure that those tanks were the same size. I should have checked online. I know I should have, but whatever, I guess. Well, I think it's time to show you guys the tractor, what I've done to it. So let's do that. Alright. And bear with me, the lighting is not the best, I know, but hopefully it's enough. Hopefully it's enough. Can't really see that too well, because there's only a single light in this place. Let me see if I can get a little bit better light. Hold on a minute. Alright, YouTube, I hope that helps. I have the light on my phone on while I'm videoing so we can see some stuff here. This is the right side of the tractor if you're actually on the tractor, the mag side. I got the mag timed up. I have the spark plug wires in the house. I'll be getting those on tomorrow once I get the spark plugs. And it's an E4A mag. Got this strip out at Stromps up in Spalding. It looks really good actually. And this mag does have spark. And there's your impulse. Got it timed up as best I could. Got it on top dead center compression. And got the rotor on the back timed up to the number 1 cylinder. Just where the points open up just a tad bit. And I got that set. And this is that one cover I was talking about. I don't have it all the way on yet. You can see your governor in there, that brass piece down in there. You can see that. You can see the springs, and the weights just a little bit. And oh yeah, this piece right here is supposed to be made out of pot metal. And this piece actually was made out of pot metal. And I don't know if any of you guys know this, but pot metal was used by International Harvester way back in the day to do some of these finer parts that I don't know, they didn't just have big casts for. Because I know they used to use pot metal on the underside of the the oil filter on the F-20s and later regulars. But anyway, you notice this one doesn't look a whole lot like pot metal right now. It looks a little newer in some sorts, a little glossier, and that's because it is. This pot metal piece actually broke on me when I took it off, because I was trying to adjust this knob here and it actually broke into 3 separate pieces, so I had to take the whole thing off, and the whole thing just snapped on me because it was so brittle. And of course I couldn't find this piece anywhere else. Literally, I checked up at Stromps, I checked online, no one had it. And I emailed some places and they didn't have it, so it was more of a crapshoot to try and find it. So I ended up just trying to fix the one I had, so that's what I did. I took a whole bunch of JB welded it all back together, which is kind of cool actually. I never thought I'd use JB weld as much as I have in this project, so it's really come in handy. I really like using it, so it's got me out of quite a few pickles between the radiator and this piece and a couple other things, but yeah, this had a whole bunch of hairline cracks in it, and whatever didn't break would have broke if I wouldn't have done anything to it. So I had to just give the whole thing a coat of JB Weld to keep it together. So yeah, that's where that came in. And this piece actually, this is a single variable speed, single speed governor, which means it only goes a certain speed. It's not a variable speed governor like you would have on a later F20 model. But what this does is this keeps tension on this spring and keeps the governor speed at approximately, I think the top speed of this governor is around 12,000 RPM or something close to that. So what you would do is if you wanted more power out of your governor or out of your tractor, the only thing that could really do that was adjusting this part right here, because the only really way this tractor operated was if it was at full speed, full throttle, because the governor linkage pretty much only did anything with the carburetor and the carburetor butterfly. So, and that's what that rod leading all the way up there is for, which I got that on today too. But the way you would adjust this is you turn this either direction and it tightens and loosens this spring in there. And the only way it operates is this spring is when it's really at full throttle. The only way you can adjust is if this thing is when it's at full throttle, and you won't really notice a change anywhere else if it's not at full throttle. So yeah, it's a single, I can't say variable, it's not a variable speed governor, I don't know what to call it, but it's a single speed governor pretty much. And it's kind of like an F20 in a way. You move this with your control rods up top, and it moves the carburetor butterfly and it puts tension on this spring. So there's that, and the way that operates is by this lever right here, and that's how that goes. And that's pretty much it for the governor and the mag. And the valve train I finally got on here. I haven't adjusted it up to specs yet, but I'm going to do that tomorrow morning. And as you can see, I don't have these felt pieces in here anymore, because well, they were so brittle that they started falling apart as soon as I touched them. So it was really kind of like, oh crap, I gotta take these off now and I can't reuse them. So, and I found out, what I found out online is that they are wicking felt. And what wicking felt is it's a special kind of material that you would put in these old engines, and you would that are able to withstand oil pressure and all that kind of stuff. And what they do is they suck up oil without deteriorating, and they drop it, like they make small drops, like say in one of these holes to the valve tappets, and it keeps it oiled and keeps all that stuff lubed. But yeah, I need to get some of that, and I don't know where to get it around here in store. I'm really kind of hoping I won't have to order it, but if I have to, I have to. I mean, there's nothing really more you can do about it. But yeah, there's that. We'll walk around here. I'm stepping on stuff here. Oh, and yeah, this front steering here, I actually I took this off so I could replace this gear, these two right in here, because they were very badly worn. I got this one out at Stromps, this replacement gear. I don't know, maybe in the last video you might have saw this front mechanism with this piece off, but this was still on there. I'm not quite sure, I don't remember, and I don't remember mentioning it either. But I kind of wish I would have. But anyway, yeah, I replaced that piece. I think I still have the old one around here. Let me see here. Yeah, that's it. See if I can grab a hold of it. It's actually kind of heavy. But as you can see, those are the better teeth right there on the top. And then you can see it gradually gets more pointed as you go. And that's just in that one spot. I mean, the rest of the gear is really good, but I really didn't want to have to deal with that. So that's why I replaced it. And I mean, yeah, anyway, I've got a fan belt on the side. I have this hooked up. I have this on the manifold, and as you can see, these studs look a little long, and that's because they actually are. I don't know what the heck studs were on this before, but I actually had to take a die, and I had to go down a little bit further to get more threads down there, because I didn't have enough. Like, it would stop, like the threads would stop about there, and I would have there on back of no threads. So I had to take a half-inch die and go through there and make more threads for myself. And eventually I'll end up cutting some of this access off, but because I don't need it. And then, well, and then there's this one. This is actually it's a stud with a bolt on it that I got off originally off this manifold, and well, I could never get the nut off of it because, well, I don't know if you can see that real well, but it looks like the threads were smashed in around the bolt itself, so I could never get that off. But otherwise, the stud was still usable, so I went ahead and used it. And if I end up having to replace it, then I'll end up replacing it. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal, but anyway, yeah, there's that. And then focus camera, there we go. And there's the muffler there. Not your standard muffler, but yeah, there's the muffler. And then your carburetor would go here. I'm gonna be mounting that tomorrow as well. Can't wait, because yeah, it needs to go on. Nothing else to it, it just needs to go on. But yeah, there's that. And let's see what else here. Oh yeah, I showed you that already. Oh yes, the fuel tank. That's one of the cool things on it. You can see Farmall in the rust. In the rust, yes. Got the fuel tank cleaned out. Got the sediment bowl down there cleaned out and put back on. All that was left in this tank was old ethanol. So it was sticky and sucked to get out. I'm not gonna lie there. It sucked to get out. But we got it cleaned out. And as you can see, if you look right there, the steering shaft is actually resting on the tank itself. So this tank is actually bigger than the one that was on this tractor originally. And I mean, it holds the same amount of gallons of fuel, but it just takes up more space vertically than I thought it did. And you can see the difference right there between the shaft and the front steering mechanism. But yeah, there's that. And I found online one of the only ways to fix that is to get F20 supports for the tank. These F20 supports. But well, my dad actually is saying, no, we're just gonna, once you get this thing running, we're just gonna chop these down a little bit so it'll make it fit. So I gotta go and measure some of these F20 mounts off of another tractor, probably up at a friend of mine's, but see how much we have to cut. I mean, I wouldn't prefer to do it that way, but I guess we are, so that's what's gonna happen. And yeah, there's that, and actually one other thing over here, if I can get to it. Look at this shaft, this thin one right there. See how that's bent? Well, today, this shaft right here actually controls your throttle and your mag, your spark, with these two these two levers on here. And I think your front one controls your I want to say it's your oh gosh, your governor, your carburetor settings, and this one, the second one, controls the mag settings right there. And well, I have not been able to get this thing off. It has been bothering me so much because I can't move it any way, really, in any direction, because this shaft, there are two shafts in here. There's a 3/8 shaft that you can see runs along through the back here, and on top of it, actually covering it, is a piece of tubing, or a piece of pipe that goes right over it and controls the settings for the magneto, because this one controls the settings for the your carburetor. But anyway, I am suspecting that this whole piece where that pipe is ran, or line, whatever you want to call it, is absolutely filled with rust, because I cannot get them to move in the opposite direction of each other. I can get them to move together, but I can't get them to move separately. And it really is terrible. So what I'm going to end up doing, and yeah, I've tried everything pretty much. I've tried heat on the whole shaft. I've tried a week's worth of lubricant. I've tried pretty much anything and everything I can think of. And plus the shaft is bent. So what I'm going to end up doing now is I'm just going to scrap this one and just make a new one myself. All I'm going to do, get myself some 1/8 inch rod and a little piece of pipe. Keep those levers right here. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to keep this lever operating thing, don't know what you would call it. I'm going to scrap this one because, as you can see, it's got a hole at the bottom. I already have a replacement one of these waiting to be put on. But yeah, I'm going to scrap this one and make a new one, because that's all I really can do, because it just won't move. It will not. So we'll see what I end up having to do to get that off and put the other one on. But anyway, I'm just going to have to control the spark settings from down here with my hand. And I'm going to have to control the carburetor settings, I'm probably just going to attach it to run the line from down here to up here somewhere. And try and get at least a little bit of throttle, but until I get that off. But yeah, it'll be running really soon, and I'm actually hoping to have it running tomorrow once I get everything together. Because all I really need is spark plugs and I'm trying to think what else. Some radiator tubing, some copper fuel lining, an overflow tube, and the fittings for that, for the radiator, and that's pretty much it, actually, besides adjusting a couple things and putting some things together. But a whole bunch of stuff down there. Yeah, you'll probably see me tomorrow putting the radiator together. You'll probably see me adjusting this valve train and putting some more stuff together. And hopefully I can get it running tomorrow. Hopefully. And if I don't get it running tomorrow, then I'll get it running Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here because my phone is actually on 1% and it's about to die. But see if we can get a shot of my lovely face without blinding myself. But don't know how this is gonna work. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video, and please, like, subscribe, comment. I want comments. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about this and how it's gonna all work. I really want input. So, and I'll get back to you. I promise you that. So I guess thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.